rallies. First serve here, this time they go right to Kraft. Solomon bumping up. A little bit of miscommunication here on the first setup for Lindenwood. In the middle, and finally, Rogers will be the one to serve here. 1-0 Cardinals. A little slow overhand. This one popped to the outside. Tapped up, kept alive. Ball State may be looking at a lift. Won't get it. Blocked and way out. A good defensive play, but instead goes in the favor of the Cardinals with another kill. Will Patterson with the last one.
Caden Whiteside did a phenomenal job by giving a down ball over the net instead of just passing it over like he did in that previous play. It makes it that was Luke Kraft there that sent that down ball over. He did a good job not just sending the free ball over and making that point really easy for Ball State. 2
in a row to start. Straight towards the Cowie this time. Whiteside blocked down. That was a double hit. Went right back to him, had to bump it up. And certainly not the start you want for Lindenwood. A couple of miscues here.
You do get to touch the ball after it comes back over, but as soon as that ball touches his hands for the second time, that's when it's the double contact. So you are able to touch that ball after your kill.
3-0 quickly here. A nice strong serve. This time they go to Kraft again. To the backside, a Cowie off of the block and out of bounds for the Lions' first point of the game. A Cowie stepping in today, getting the start. It's been kind of a back and forth between him and Jake Schreiner. A Cowie here, his 4th set played of the season, or excuse me, 9th set played, 4th match played, and his first start. And a couple against McKendree as Zach Solomon sends it across. Stays in, might just have to tap one over. Freebie, easy one for Geist. Assisted over, but a nice block there by Ball State. Might have been a solo there by Basilio.
Basilio's been really solid getting his feet set before the block. He only had 1 error so far, but getting touches on every single one of Lindenwood's attacks.
Solomon just couldn't set up Kraft high enough. This one a high reception, tight. Solomon back across. Had to be a freebie, but a Cowie and Geist, a little miscue between the two. And sent it right into the net. So again, another tough break for the Lions here.
Lindenwood's bench is going to need to get a little bit more excited and get their team a little bit more momentum because Ball State has all of it right now.
Right to Okawi again, have yet to target Geist. In the middle for Walsh. Nice set there.
First earn point for the Lions.
Solomon leads the conference in assists in both, or I should say not in total, but in assists per set, 10.68. In terms of totals, he sits at 4th, but 11 less than the leader in Nathan Flater, has 77 total sets. Solomon just 66, another kill here for Ball State.
That was from the 6'7" junior. Phenomenal job getting over the block there.
Tapped up this time, going after Whiteside. Go to the far side of Cowie, tries to finesse it. Couldn't get it on the way back up as it was blocked down. 5-point lead here for the Cardinals. And Lindenwood's going to take the timeout and certainly need to. A little bit of spots out of sorts, trying to get everything figured out once again.
4-4-2 in their last matchup. Consistently, Lindenwood has been able to take control of games when their opponent is hitting under 300. So they're going to need to set that strong block. Also, Ball State needs to limit the errors. We've seen a blocking error earlier on in this match. They need to limit those because this is how Lindenwood takes control. On the other side, with Luthane hurt and out for this game, they're going to need to use their solid bench depth in order to get some control and get that spark going for them. You can see that momentum shift that is already happening in this game, going on a little bit of a run here for Lindenwood. They need to be able to take control early on and keep that going throughout this match.
Walsh into the net after a kill and an ace. Unable to get it done that time, but he got 2 back for the Lions. Forced to take that early timeout. Lions have really been fine-tuning just about everything. Right now, though, Ball State, 750 they're hitting. Grant trying to go up. Got blocked, too far behind. Another block for the Cardinals. That's the fourth now. 4 blocks and 9 points. Ball State does lead the MIVA when it comes to blocks per set by 1 tick over Lewis, as Grant this time able to punch it through 9-5.
Jacob, I gotta say, so early on in this match, we're seeing a lot of consistency and a lot of good moments from Lindenwood's middles. They're gonna need to continue that and get those middles active early on in this game to take some control here.
Hitting finally over, or back into the zeros, excuse me. As this one, a nice ace from Luke Kraft. And that's something that the Lions will really have to try and ride on, and that is their serving pressure and their serving abilities. They got the best server in the country right now with Zach Solomon. They lead the MIVA by a large margin, 2.24 aces per set. Kraft trying to get another one, popped up well high. They go to the outside, blocked but way out. The next one up, Ball State right behind him at 171. And even in the numbers, despite having 13 less sets than Lewis, they still have 16 more aces than them.
Something that I'm noticing in this first set is how high Ball State's serve receive passes are. Lindenwood does a very calm and short pass to their setter, but Ball State likes to keep it high and allow their hitters to have some time to attack.
Out to Solomon, another block, 5th of the game already for Ball State, as Solomon can't beat it. There's some Bulls getting ready to wind up there in the Cardinal bench. Geist able to receive it. Solomon back set, off of heads, straight back over for the Lions, off of the scoreboard.
As a viewer of the game, you may not be able to tell how short and how low this scoreboard goes down. For men's volleyball, they're attacking so strong, it's able to bounce so hard off of it.
11-7 here. Akawi's serve popped up again. There's another one of those high reception passes Delaney was talking about. This one punched through again for Ball State.
Back to serve for Ball State, number 9, Lucas Machado.
So Lucas Machado back to serve here for Ball State. Sends it over, Akawi on the reception. Solomon sets up from the back row, a nice kill off the left hand from Kraft. Going away from the body that time. They thought he was gonna go tight to the line, instead punched it right to the middle.
He was even coming down on that ball. He got a late touch on the ball, almost even falling over. You could see it in the replay here. That's why he was successful. He's going against the grain, going against his body.
Grant, the one float server of this entire Lindenwood rotation, is Akawi high up. Solomon to the far side, blocked up, stays in. That time pops straight up to Solomon. Middle set, Walsh comes back towards the net. Not tight enough, they go up. Ball State shoving match off of Marty. Couldn't get it to go, and the 5-point lead stays intact. And part of it, this Ball State blocking, you mentioned this, the best in the MIVA. They're the 5th best in the country right now per set at a 2.534. Well, those numbers get so small, you got to separate it by a 3rd digit. And this one straight into the net. They are .002 ticks behind USC, who's at 2.536. And in terms of the total blocks, they actually have them beat by over 43. Difference is Southern California has almost 20 sets less than them. So that's pretty good. Solomon into the net, unable to push it through. Solomon now first in the country when it comes to aces per set. Talked to him early in the season and talked about how he was just chasing Skylar Varga and Alex Kandev, and now has jumped both of them. Has them beat by .029. This one up Kraft from the back row, just muscles it through. Sometimes that's all you got to do. Is Iandolo looking over at us outside there, just saying, hey, probably can get underneath that a little quicker. Trying to get underneath that was the middle blocker, Patterson, who is sitting back. So still a 4-point difference. Not a lot of change. Has been 5 or 4. As soon as the Lions get one back, seems Ball State rushes right back to it, and that's exactly what they do. Right back up to a 5-point lead once again.
Back to serve for Ball State, number 16, Ryan Lewis.
So 15-10. Lewis with the serve, and this time he goes right at Geist. Solomon across, Akawi able to get some fingers on it. In the middle, floater, Geist underneath it, popped high, off the scoreboard. Geist just has to bump it over. In the middle, Solomon underneath it. Geist up, Kraft, the swing! That's a point the Lions needed to fire him up.
That's a momentum changer. Lincoln Geist at the head of that constant defense battle here. Diving pancake there. Even able to free ball it over and still win that point.
What a dig by Solomon as well on the back row. That'll get a team fired up for sure as Owen Wall steps up.
Zach Solomon has done a phenomenal job adjusting his base defense because Ball State is able to hit so close to that 10-foot line.
Tough one for Ball State. Free ball, Kraft up, off the block, in, out, unable to save it. Basilio gave it a shot. Couldn't get it done. So Walsh will serve again. Does have an ace in this one. He is tied now for third on the team with the injured Brendan Luthane with 28 now. Solomon leading. I mentioned his numbers per set. 44 total for the young man, and Walsh picks up a line painter. That one looked in from here. Ball State's going to go quick to the challenge card. That was close, but it looked like from up here that ball was in.
Get another look at that one.
This is going to be probably our best angle here. I think that's on the line. I don't think that was far enough.
If it touches the white tape, it is considered in.
Oh, here's our best angle here. That looks like in to me. That is close, close, close.
Ball State's defense knew right away, though, that it was out. To overturn a challenge in NCAA men's volleyball, it does have to be conclusive.
So it has to be conclusive. As most sports go, you'd hope. But that one, it looked like it may have, like, at the very front end of that ball, the first contact may have been right behind the line, but of course it's all about if you flatten the ball completely, and it would touch the line at any spot of it if you flatten it totally to the floor. Say if you were to just put a two-dimensional disc on the floor and it's still touching the white line, then it's in. Correct. So from that angle, it looked like at least a quarter of that ball would have been on that white line at the minimum if it was still in. From the angles we got here from our fantastic camera crew here. And just kind of a nod of agreement there from Iandolo. The first season here as head coach for this successful program of Ball State. And a conference that has been run a little back and forth. Loyola's been up there. Ohio State always in the mix. Ball State always up, ranked top 3 in the MIVA and also top 15 in the country, if not top 10 consistently. In a MIVA conference that has just got so much better. We'll give you a look here later on today at just how intense the MIVA conference is, not just across the board for the conference itself, but in the country as well. This one back, Kraft tries to finesse, no good. They pop up near side, blocked down! Kraft lets him know! Kraft and Grant getting in. Marty's gonna, a little conversation there, just saying Solomon, just say double check with your boy back there. I don't blame him. These are two teams that have gone back and forth. That first matchup, we'll tell you later on too, it was a really good first set for both teams. After that, all Cardinals. The 16-14 here. Here comes Kraft with a heavy swing, pops up off of the tarp divider. Back row swing, one-handed dig, popped up tough. Solomon just got to go up, finesse bump, able to settle it. Ball State trying to go with a little dump play. They successfully get it there. Patrick Rogers dumping it down, the Rutherford, New Jersey product.
Jacob, something that I'm noticing early on in this game is the difference. See, Luke Kraft there was not ready for the ball. He's starting up high and then having to move down towards the ball. When you're just down and ready to go, you're way faster to the ball and able to be way more successful with the dig.
To the outside of Kelly, off fingertips. That's a nice point there for Akawi. Had 14 kills coming into today. As we mentioned, this is his first collegiate start for the freshman out of Downers Grove, Illinois. It's been kind of a back and forth here between him and another freshman, that being Jake Schreiner, a redshirt freshman, also out of Winfield, Illinois. One of a lot of Lions out of Illinois, out of Chicago and Eastern Illinois. This one popped up and just in. A line painter from the far side. Ryan Lewis going cross court.
Their hitters are so consistent. Ball State has done a phenomenal job moving the ball around, noticing Lindenwood's tendencies on the blocking side of things and moving around it.
In the middle, Grant. Oh, luckily into the chest of Akawi. Solomon with the swing. It's got to go over. Underneath the Kraft. Amir Grant almost got in the way. Akawi, oh man, that was a wasted one for the Lions. That might come back to bite them. It won't, though. Right now, though, back, far side, white side swing, out. Man, that's a tough break for Lindenwood after a good defensive rally.
Great job there by Solomon being aggressive. He's a setter, but he got a really good attack there. Caden Whiteside was falling back on that kill there and wasn't able to get a hold of it, get control of the ball before touching it.
So Machado back now, the Canela, Brazil native. As it across, Kraft just out of it, trying to ping him with it like a bowling pin. Marksmanship just a little bit. 2 clicks more over to the right.
Ball State still 1 away from the red zone. Quick first set here. They're moving pretty fast. This game is moving pretty fast with some good volleyball.
Didn't even mention, but this is the best offensive team in Amiva. Obviously at that one spot, off a Kraft and out, now into the red zone, up by 4. Ball State averaging 13.36 kills per set. Leading in the total number as well with 975 across the board. Which is interesting, though, because Lindenwood leads with opponent kills per set, just 989 against. This one up, Geis, another really good reception to the outside. Whiteside off of the block, rolling and kept alive. Triple block, stays alive. Oh, miscue. Comms were off for Ball State, and the Lions get a lucky point to keep them close.
Cardinals Livero there. Transfer from Quincy. Got to be a little frustrated. Great diving play just for the ball to drop right in between 2 Cardinals.
As they check the floor, and Ball State, after a little deliberation, is going to take their time out here. Their first of the set. 2017, trying to pull his team back here in the first. Nice swing. Not good enough. Middle set. Lions may have thought it was out. Solomon's going to go straight over to Joe Koschev. And they're going to challenge this one. Solomon he had a face right out in front of it. So if he's going to call for that, you'd hope it's him.
Yeah, you would trust your setter there. He got his foot right on that in line there. You know if something is too far to your right, it's automatically out. You don't even need to move your body that way.
Man, that's close. That is incredibly close. That angle, it looks like it might be out. From that back angle, it looked like just a shred of the ball may have still been over the line. See if we can give you another look there from our back angle view. Because that might have been our best look there, despite the feet in the way, but I still think might have been our best look. See there, head coach Mike Iandolo. First season for him. Graduated out of Lewis from 2012. All three coaches here, first-year head coach. Brian Hogue out of Cumberland and Charles Norman out of Florida International. Call on the court right now, ball in. It was a very tight play, another one. Again, you need conclusive evidence. See if you can get you another shot from that backside camera. Here's another look here coming up. Slowed down, and yeah, that ball did catch the line just a little bit. Good catch there, and that's going to stay. Call will stand. You saw it there from that back angle, did catch enough of it. The call stands. 21-17 here in the first set. Taylor Wint back to serve here. Winter Park, Florida product. The freshman stepping in to serve here. Short toss for him. Little floater right to Akawi. Solomon sets up far side. Whiteside. 1-2. How do you do? Out for a kill for Whiteside. So Whiteside will go back to serve now. Redshirt freshman of Powell, Ohio. Stepped into that starting role here this season. And he has just taken off here in his redshirt freshman year.
Kind of like a silent weapon there for Lindenwood. You don't always hear his name, but in those big moments, he does exactly what he is supposed to.
Big back row attack coming from Patrick Rogers. And he nearly put it into the basement. Man, what a swing there.
I think he started his approach at the in line and ended right at the 10-foot line.
Right to Geist, high one, Solomon, right there, Akawi! Straight out. Joe Koshev pointing back to the line judge saying it was tipped. They're going to say straight out. May have tried to push it a little bit too much on that far side. 2 points away now is Ball State. And Lindenwood's going to take their final timeout here of the set. Certainly in a tough spot here is Lindenwood, but again, you're going up against one of the best teams in the country. Not to say that they haven't faced it, but against this Ball State team, they did have a good set, first set. Second, third, and fourth, not so much.
Lindenwood is going to need to gain just a little bit more momentum, close the gap. Every time Ball State scores 1 point, Lindenwood is going to need to score 2 in order to stay in the rest of this match. Moving on past the first set, looks like Ball State got out ahead just a little too much for Lindenwood to hold on to, but if they can make a run here, they can be successful.
Going to need something to fire them back up here. One of the Lindenwood teams that just thrives off of how their bench does, and we talked a little bit about it, but Lindenwood with some injuries, got some lingering injuries to some of their backups. Obviously, Luthane is out. So the injuries have kind of racked up so badly that even Brendan Schobrel has thrown on the white tonight in place of being the L2, just in case he has to step in an outside hitter role or somewhere in the back row. Just kind of one of those spots the Lions are in right now. And obviously it does sting when you have one of your best attackers left on the bench for the remainder of your season. You can kind of tell here it hasn't been, obviously, McKendry and then Queens. Hasn't been the easiest stretch for Lindenwood. Luthane was injured and gained point of that one. This one off of the block, nobody there. And Kraft gets a point back out of the timeout. And Queens is at the end of the MIVA, so maybe able to push through that, but now you're kind of starting to see that when they face a team as skilled, as highly ranked as Ball State. Kind of starting to see some of those miscommunications come into play. Pressure's a little higher. As this one's sent wide and deep, and that brings up set point here for the Cardinals. Trying to take a one-set lead here in St. Charles. 24-19, Basilio looking to end. Freebie for the Lions. And at least can take their dignity with them as they are able to get to 20. So Luke Kraft back to serve, trying to keep it alive. His boys behind him. Slower looper, took some off. In the middle, off of the block. Right there, Whiteside waiting for it. Solomon sets up, back. Kraft, hard off the block, kept alive. As the libero able to keep it alive, right back to Kraft. Geist, high up in the air, tight to the net. Going up, off of fingertips, still alive. Come to the near side. Rogers finds Paydirt. Whiteside couldn't pop it up on the dig, and the Cardinals able to close. Good, so sound for so many years. You look at Lindenwood, who has been a little up and down, trying to find their footing, and now really have found their spot here with all the new recruiting, the schools, and the rest of the sports slowly elevating. Volleyball has certainly come up with them, and now having one of the best seasons, the highest they've ever been ranked. They jumped up into the top 10 earlier this season, fell back a little bit, but have had to consistently stayed here, especially at the 11 spot now for a couple weeks. So this is a really strong year for Lindenwood. But again, you look over at Ball State, this is just another season for them in the sense of they're just so good year in, year out. This is what they expect to do, and they have delivered every single time.
When you think of men's volleyball, you think of the big names like Long Beach State, UCLA. Ball State is becoming one of those teams. They're consistently great, and they're consistently getting better each year.
You always ask a team, you're so good, how do you get better? Well, look at Ball State. Solomon with another dig. Good point here to start off to the outside. Kraft, left-handed swing, finds the gap. Lions open up set number 2 with a point.
Luke Kraft at 8 kills already in this match. He's definitely been the go-to for Solomon and for the rest of the Lions.
Kraft coming in from Maryville. He played a lot with the Saints and has brought his talents over to St. Charles. Not that far away up the road from Chesterfield. This one right through Walsh, trying to get set to it.
Lindenwood is going to need to be more set and ready for those digs. Owen Walsh caught just a little too high, but that's been consistently happening throughout this match. That's why Ball State has been so successful on those first ball kills.
458 now, was the hitting percentage of the first, and they already start off hitting 333 to start. Solomon sets up, back set to Kraft, still alive. Ball State thought they had it, tapped over by Cowie. They get a free ball, though, set up near side. Swing across, kept alive, way into the stands there, past Whiteside. And a very strong kill for the Cardinals puts them in the lead here in set number 2.
Got a little trash talking going on this court. These teams know each other so well.
You know, love to see it. That's just MIVA volleyball right there. It's Midwestern competitiveness. A little one on the line, no! Quick challenge on the curveball thrown in there. That was another one, it looked like from here that was on the line, and that was on a tough angle as well. They're going to quick to the challenge card here. They're going to take a look.
You're able to kind of talk it over and get some ideas flowing.
Some coaches will save those challenges for later on in the match for those reasons. We've seen it before here where even on some maybe not so close plays, but maybe like, maybe it could have, because this one's out. You might as well get another timeout in a close game, back and forth. If it's a play that even though you're thinking it's probably going to stand anyway, but still, why not challenge it if it gives you a timeout?
While Lindenwood's blocking has not been able to keep up with Ball State's really high sets, their coverage on those blocks has significantly improved already in this second set.
3-2 gets one back. Kraft outside, kept alive. Back to Basilio with power and out. Thought there might have been a deflection. They're not going to look at this one. A little too early in the set for that one. We're tied at 3. Kraft will set up again. As an ace tonight, Walsh has 2. This has been something that the Lions have certainly skyrocketed in their improvement. Seems like every season from beginning to end, they always improve in the ace, but this year has been exceptional. One of the best in the country. Solomon, obviously the best in the country when it comes to aces per set. Shoving match. Oh, too far away from Solomon. Would have been a freebie for the Lions, but they were setting up a triple block, and no one from the back row could get up to that.
Ball State runs a lot of things differently on their side of the court. For their serve receive, for example, they're at about the 20-foot line. That's about 10 feet in from that back line. Pretty shallow, and that's why they're getting so caught up so high on their arms.
Out to Kraft. Really had to go up to that one, but just hung up. To the outside. Blocked down. Solomon 1v1 with Basilio, and he bests him. Here comes Akawi now. 5 blocks now for, I think that's 5.5 for Ball State. 3 for the Lions as they get a quick cleanup on Iowa Ball State bench. Right on that outer stretch of the 10-foot line.
Lots of trash talking from Lindenwood's bench. They're a little fired up about that pause there. The little delay of game in question.
I love it. Loving it. Akawi with the serve. Into the net. Shot right back into Solomon. So back in the hands of the Cardinals once again. But the Lions have proven that in a lot of matches this season, they thrive in a lot of these closer games. Anything that they're able to give up a run, it seems to be lost. But even if a team seems to be in control for most of the set, they keep it within 1 to 2 points. It's right there. As they're gonna
call that ball a lift and award
Grant.
Ball State the point.
That's a tough one there. They're not happy. Obviously, the Lions bench ain't happy about it. So a freebie for the Cardinals here. They have done very good in tight matches. We've seen it before. Being down for a majority of the set and still be able to come back and take the set. Lions just need that one run. The last thing they need, though, is a run like this here for Ball State. Now up 3 here as Whiteside fires another one into the stands. Whiteside continuing to drop farther into the negative. Still has yet to record a kill on 7 attempts. This one back for Grant. Middle set, blocked down. Right back at him! Machado. And a timeout taken by the Lions. Got a team out of Greenwood, Indiana. Brings a lot of that experience. So trying to step into that spot. Because not only is Luthane an attacker, but he's a big part of that passing game. And he kind of talked about Akawi a little bit more straight on with those limiting Solomon's options.
Yeah, he's kind of left with 1 or maybe 2 options. Very few times throughout this match has Solomon had 3 options for hitters, and when Brendan Luthane was in these games, always passing super high. But great experience for Akawi to get in these games and being able to show off his skills so early on in his Lindenwood career.
Middle set for Walsh, right back over. Kraft up, Solomon just goes himself and out. Oh, man. Oh, he's going to be seeing that one in his dreams. Actually, scratch that. Nightmares. He'll be seeing that one at night. What a good defensive rally. Solomon went up, had a strong swing, had the space, and painted it outside of the lines.
It was a great idea there. He noticed that the 2 defenders for Ball State were out, and they were down, even on their knees, but not successful. Just needed to cut it a little bit harder.
And finally, Whiteside able to collect that one. Now his 2nd kill here of the game. Another look at a handful of those defensive plays. How that one stayed alive, I don't know, but Solomon just went for it and just out. A tough break for the Lions. Back down by 3. Solomon trying to make up for it. Can't. Sends it long, and now Cardinals in the double figures here in set number 2.
Service error number 6 already for Lindenwood. More consistent as the season has gone on, but in games like this, when they need to get ahead and really gain some momentum, you can't miss a serve.
And right now, too, you're only averaging, obviously still early, is a big kill there from Kraft with the left hand. right now, 3 errors, service errors a set isn't awful. Obviously, still early here in the second set. If anything, that's pretty good. But for Ball State, on the other hand, they're averaging 1.5. So you're not getting your free points in hand. You're not going service error for service error. That's where some of the games have come. That's what some of the games have almost come down to for Lindenwood in some tight matches. So got to be a little bit more sharper on those serves, as there's Whiteside serving it into the net on cue. But again, this is a Lindenwood team. We've seen them go upwards into the 20s for service errors, and then they flipped it and gone into the mid-teens for aces, getting more aces than they have errors in some games. They set up Kraft outside, just out. Another attacking error for the Lions. They have yet to hit over 200. On the other side, though, Ball State only hitting 091. A little bit of uncharted territory for both teams here in this second set.
You're seeing a lot of smiles, lots of communication on Ball State's side. They're happy to be here because they have so much control in this game.
Yeah, they're getting them fired up. A few more smiles, I think, are peeking on the Lions bench. Kraft another big kill. He's got the game high with 10 now. First player of anyone with double figures. Lewis has 6. He's the team leader for Ball State, excuse me. I was thinking of Lewis for a second there. This one, right to the net. Tap back, across. Nice dig by Walsh. Pops straight up. Akawi tries to go back across the grain. Machado sets it up. Tapped off at Grant. Oh, man, unfortunate for Akawi. Trying to go straight back. Grant too tight with him. Another one of those plays that have just bit Lindenwood on those transfer plays trying to set up.
Ball State's got a different look there for their jerseys. Nike uniforms, but looking at that short sleeve, kind of looser look, something that's not usual
Look
in
like
men's.
Soccer jerseys
Almost, yeah. Men's volleyball is known for what Lindenwood's got there, of that tank top style with no sleeves.
And we've seen when Cal State Northridge was in town, they have essentially basketball jerseys with their styles, with their tank top looks. Yeah, this is something different with Ball State, with those long sleeves. Not very common. I've seen one with a couple of teams, but it's still not very common, as Kraft really got underneath that one. Ball State barking at it. And this is the stretch. This is the same thing that happened last time in the first set for Lindenwood. Gave Ball State that run and have been unable to close that gap. They've had some back and forth play in both of them, but the moment they give up that one big run, it's a little hard for Lindenwood to overcome that. But yet when they're in close games, even if they don't have the lead, we mentioned it earlier, typically find a way to get a nice three-point run of themselves to try and take over that set. Problem is for Lindenwood, though, still down 4. And this is another spot here, down 4 to down 5, down 4 to down 5. There's Akawi, a nice dropping serve there. Set up middle block off of Grant and out. And there's that back and forth once again.
You mentioned earlier how Luthane is out with an injury right now. He's such a great passer, such a great attacker, such a great blocker for Lindenwood. But something I notice is he's a great leader for this team, even a captain for the Lindenwood Lions. And not having that on there and only having 2 of their captains out on the court at once definitely lacks communication for them.
You can kind of see some of that, but Machado with a beautiful dunk there, a tough one on Geis as the reception jumped right back out and forced the hand of Joe Koscheff to take the timeout. Luthane was tied for Whiteside with 67 digs. They have been winning just about every single one, the only exception being UCLA. That was a 3-1 4-setter loss. This one popped to the near side. A little bit of a dunk look from Whiteside to the outside. Has to be deep. Finger roll. Didn't like it. The referees. Double hit is the call on Basilio. That was a tough one there for the Ontarioan. Mind you, UCLA also #1 team in the country right now as Basilio goes up and just finger rolled it pretty bad.
You can tell by the rotation of the volleyball if it's a double contact. If that ball's moving one way, the ball's moving to the side. As a referee, they understand that it's a double contact.
Different replay system. So now a 6-point lead for Ball State. Basilio to serve. Right into the net. Maybe a ball don't line situation there, not exactly sure, but I know the Lions will take it. 5-point difference once again. Solomon steps back. He's had some miracle runs behind the line himself. Does he have another one in him? Well, we'll wait and see. Trying to push one across here. This one high in, and he finds an ace. There it is. Solomon with his first of the game. Solomon has not recorded aces, or has recorded an ace in all but 2 games. Against Loyola on February 4th and Ball State on February 13th. This one into the net, an unfortunate one for Solomon. The only 2 where he has not recorded an ace, and out of all of them 3 games where he's recorded only 1. Against Fort Valley State on the 28th of February, McKendree on the 13th, and then Queens on the 19th. Did sit the second game against Queens. A little bit of a precautionary measure, but all right now. That one right back to Ball State off the serve. They set up Freebie. Back row, Geis tapped up, nice save. Geis is just going to have to bump it over. Another freebie for Ball State. A little bit of a setter dump. Solomon underneath it. Geis will set up, goes to Whiteside. Big swing, and he gets it. Nice rally from the Lions.
Great defensive plays in this game so far. Ball State is offering a lot of subs throughout this game. There is a limit on subs, and I believe they're getting close to it.
Will Patterson there on that far side. This one down, Basilio with the good reception. Popped up middle set, big swing at the fist there of Whiteside. Couldn't get underneath it.
This is looking pretty similar to their last meeting. Ball State keeping it close in the first set, but full control after that. It's been between 4 and 5 points, but this looks a little different here.
Machado off the tape. The setter, this one middle set. Walsh just goes after it and puts it down.
Back to serve for the Lions, number 25, Owen.
So now Owen Walsh will step up. 4-point difference once again, but again, it's just been back and forth here. Ball State had that one run, and Walsh puts it well wide and out, and that puts Ball State into the red zone here for the second time tonight.
Back to serve for Ball State, number 20,
Patrick Rogers up, team leader when it comes to kills and also service aces. Averaging .43 a set, got 30 on the season. Hitting .406 as well. This one, a nice one straight to Geist. Solomon, middle set for Grant. Popped up high on the dig. Go to the far side. Just finding enough off of the tip, Basilio. Basilio third on this team. He's been doubled up by Rogers. Hitting .318, but getting right back into the swing of things here. This one just unable to, doesn't beat him clean, but he still finds the floor. He's got just his second of the game, though. This one tapped up tight. It's middle set for Grant. Tapped up. Wasn't their fourth, but a freebie nevertheless. Straight back to Grant. Still alive. Tight, they go up. Grant shoving match. No, net violation on the Cardinals. Another one would have been another unfortunate one for the Lions, but they get out of it thanks to a net violation. Thank the heavens for Lindenwood there. A couple of great defensive plays for Ball State. Five-point lead, Luke Kraft, high toss. Nice serve, received back tight to the net. In the middle, just taps at it. Solomon had to just quickly react, and he taps it all the way back to the stands. 6-point difference now again.
Just 3 away from taking set 2. Lindenwood would need a reverse sweep, winning the next 3 games to win this match. Something really hard to do, but they're at home, so get a little bit of that home court advantage.
There's something on the line here. Lindenwood is undefeated at home here this season. Something that you don't usually see up to this point of the season.
I think something that's important to note is the crowd quietness. The crowd is significantly less tonight on a Thursday evening here at Highland, but you're also not hearing a lot of those cheers and chants from the crowd to get that team wild up.
Lindenwood 9-0 here at home. And it's been tough for the crowd to get into it as Lindenwood has been down consistently throughout this match. Only a couple of leads, and that was just early here in this second set. Didn't lead once in that first. Solomon sets up Grant in the middle, taps it down. Little shorty. Brings it within 5. Grant with his second. Lindenwood still unable to get over 2. That might just bring them up with their 10th kill of the set. And that's the thing that really is the separation right now. 11 errors to 6. 5 blocks for Ball State. You look at the numbers, it's fairly even. This one in the middle, nice dump there. Machado, another setter dump, his 3rd kill. 500 for him, hitting 3 for 6, and that brings up set point here in set number 2. Canadian Basilio will look to set the Cardinals up for a sweep. Big swing, finds the line! And we go to the coveted reverse sweep. A big swing and a big block to start us off.
That's how we started off set 1.
Patterson Basilio, 6'10 and 6'5. Patterson, the Loveland, Ohio product, the junior, got most of it, but Basilio there for the help as well.
They do a really good job at closing the block, pushing their hands over into the court.
Geis underneath, another clean reception. Big one up high, off the scoreboard, won't clear the net. Akawi with a little bit of a misstep there, played it too high on the bump. 2-0 early here.
Ball State copying Lindenwood signs there. Got some ace signs as well.
Is that technically an ace? 2-0. Call it a bad set. Geis underneath it. Whiteside from deep finds the corner. Like a genius kindergartner, able to paint it between the lines.
Back to serve for the Lions, number 10, Luke Kraft.
So Luke Kraft, the Kirkwood, Missouri native, he has not left home. As I mentioned, a transfer from Maryville. He's just kind of slowly moved himself out west, went out to Town and Country, Chesterfield area for a couple years, and then came over here to the Lions. The junior out of Kirkwood as that one finds it for Ball State, continuing to just run with it.
Something that you're seeing so much is students and these student athletes transferring. Even on Ball State's side, number 17, their libero, transfer from Quincy. It's something that's so common and so accessible. For example, Zach Solomon, the setter right there for Lindenwood, transfer from Purdue Fort Wayne.
Spent first 2 years there and now 2 years here for the senior, and began to really come into his own player at Purdue Fort Wayne, and then here at Lindenwood just exploded and now has become one of the best in the country in both setting and serving. He's really is a utility server, is a kind of the best way to put it. Almost you can really just say a utility player, but obviously his best spot right in that center, setting people up. This one goes long from Akawi. 2-point lead here for Ball State. Mentioned there, it's hard to say Midwestern road trip because they're also Midwestern out of Muncie, Indiana, but coming down here, they got the coveted St. Louis, Southern Illinois trip. They have Lindenwood here today, obviously, and then per usual on Saturday, they will head over to Lebanon, take on McKendree. Kind of been the theme. It's been the theme for a handful of years, doing that road trip when it comes to the close teams. Go to Chicago, you'll play Lewis and Loyola. That one up, just tapped by Solomon enough. Blocked down and out. Solomon was, I think now just saying, my bad, guys. He just had that tap right at the net. Not sure if it would have even broken the plane. Was able to stay alive for the Cardinals. They go back up by 2. Kind of that mix, too. You get that Indiana road trip, Ball State, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Just kind of sectioning it out. Back row attack, Akawi.
Did he even clear the plane to the net?
I was about to say.
The question. You got that triple block up there. Something that is open, though, when they have that triple block is those front corners. See how open they are because those defensemen have to pull back a little bit in case you're able to go cross court.
6-3. Solomon sets up far side. Whiteside sails it long. Another miss hit from Caden Whiteside, and he's back to zeros. So they say it was an attack error by Akawi. Akawi now hitting 167. Lions will continue to drop now at the 200 mark before that Whiteside one gets thrown in.
We seen a few plays ago, Lincoln guys got a 3 pass where Solomon had 3 options to set, and it was an instant kill. That is something that Lindenwood needs to have. Lincoln guys has been able to consistently get that serve-receive pass, but it's been off the net a little too tight. We talked to head coach, Coach Joe, prior to the game, and he said he had to make that switch just a few matches ago, and we're seeing it again.
Kept alive, right back to Walsh. Can't slam it home at the scorer's table. Nearly costing him money. You love to see the effort. Almost had to pay up for a new LED sign there. You love to see the effort from the Cardinals there. A strong one there. Bumped up. That was a nice, strong hit by Walsh. Was blocked. The initial tip wasn't good enough. Hopefully Basilio looks all right as he nearly put his entire leg into that LED screen. But they got some pretty tough plexiglass in front of it, so good to go. Solomon with the serve. There's an ace right there into the stands.
He's
Solomon
number 1 in
definitely
the
needs
country
that.
for a reason.
And needed that for sure for Solomon and this team. His second of the game. Solomon up to 20 assists so far. That's the other thing, too. You look at these numbers. No one in Ball State's in double figures yet. Solomon has the game high 20 assists. Machado only has 17. Yet Ball State has controlled this match. Back to Kraft. Has to tap it. 4th hit. Or no. Lift on Kraft there. So Braden Savitsky-Lynn, the junior out of Roscoe, Illinois. Parents visiting here. That one just off the line.
Ball's out. Point Lindenwood. Back to serve for the Lions. Number 6, Caden Whiteside.
As Whiteside stepping up. Four kills so far here for Savitsky-Lynn, the middle blocker. Alongside 2 blocking assists. They set up, far side, little floater, tipped up. Cross on the wrong side of the antenna as Lewis just kind of looking up. Not too bothered about it. Here comes Walsh. Another strong serve, popped up high on the reception. Backside attack! And a big kill. Another one from Ball State from the backside. They have been relentless.
Ball State's got Lindenwood right where they want them.
Another 5-point lead, continuing to go back and forth. Grant able to find one off of fingertips.
Gotta say, though, Lindenwood's side is still looking a little dead, looking a little quiet, lack of communication there. I think they're going to need to turn to their captains on the court, specifically their floor captain, Zach Solomon, but another captain in Lincoln Geis, to kind of get that team momentum rolling as the bench may be a little bit quiet throughout this match.
Kraft, see if he can use that for some momentum as well, a big ace. Well, if there's one guy, though, that wouldn't be a captain, but does certainly get fired up, it's Luke Kraft. The emotions in that guy. Well, there's one guy who gets pumped up, fired up, a guy who's really going after it. It's Luke Kraft. The amount of expression, passion on his face, every single time he gets a big point, you can see it. This one out. And now even Koshev out there. 2 point now, able to bridge it back just a little bit. Head coach for the Lions doing some pace. I don't know if I've ever seen this. Usually a little more common.
Move it back and forth pretty quickly.
He's up and down. Here comes Kraft. Straight off of the antenna. Was head hunting for the red-white stripe pole. It's a hard thing to hit. That's not very big.
Pretty narrow.
I would say it's honestly harder to hit that on a serve than just putting it straight out. Though I would, unintentional, obviously. Float serve coming across. Whiteside underneath it. Solomon, back set. Kraft off of fingertips. Kept alive. Got to go straight up, though. Back row attack. Easy one for Whiteside. Straight up Solomon. Middle set. Grant off of fingertips and down.
Number 5 for Grant tonight. Solomon really getting those middles activated even throughout the match. He's done a phenomenal job at setting the middles. No matter where he's at, he can always find Grant and Walsh.
The Lions have done a good job consistently throughout the season with their middle setting. Another good serve, but this reception has been incredible for Ball State. And they continue it. Another big kill. Basilio, the multi-use setter once again. It's just a battle of two setters right now between Solomon and Basilio. Towards the corner, knocked down. Solomon, where will he go this time? Outside, Whiteside has to punch it over and out off the antenna. Looked like he may have gone to Grant, wanted Whiteside. Whiteside way too tight to the net. Pushed it right off of the barber pole. 4-point lead. Rejuvenated here. (15-11). Strong one. Out. 3-point difference. Walsh re-enters.
Service error number 8 for the Cardinals. They've done a really good job at being consistent behind that line.
Really on both sides of it, too. The receptions and the serves. Not a lot of aces, but definitely not a lot of errors. That's really what will come back to get you. And receptions have been incredible. As this one finding it off the top of the block. Lewis stepping into another one for his 9th, leading the team.
Looking pretty good, though. Lindenwood only down by 4. This is the point that the game needs to turn in their favor to take a little bit more momentum from the Cardinals.
Basilio, though, behind the line, trying to keep the momentum in the hands of Ball State. But Schreiner from the back row, he lets him know it. Got to get him fired up somehow.
That's one way to do it.
Couple of big kills, crowd slowly getting back into it as well. Nice back row, just splitting the block completely. They were about 10 feet apart there between Patterson and Savitsky Lind. Up high, middle set, block, but out! Savitsky Lind getting in on the kills once again. His parents jumping up there in the stands. Quite easy to point him out, I'll tell you that much.
God,
Probably the best. That is the best jacket I've seen from a fan or a family, I think, ever.
I gotta say, they're the best dress that I've seen in Highland this season.
And that's across every sport.
Every
sport. This one up right to Geis with a good dig on the hammer thrown to him. Over Kraft off the left hand. Tipped up. Oh! A tough break for the Cardinals there. Machado went down awkwardly on the leg as it came right back to him as he went down awkwardly off the block. That's a tough break for the Cardinals there. That's also their big server. 21 assists right now for Machado.
It's really easy to come down on feet, come down on ankles when you're so tight on that block. Can roll really easily.
Machado, a tough one from him. One of those things, too, very common to roll the ankle in volleyball is, I've always kind of said it, once you take enough rolled ankles, you kind of just stop being able to roll them after a while. You kind of lose the inability to. It still hurts, don't get me wrong, but they're not as bad.
You get a little numb to the pain, yeah.
I don't even know if it's tolerance. I think it's just after you roll your ankle so much, your ankle just builds up enough around it to the point where you literally cannot. I hike a lot, so I don't know if I could roll my ankle anymore at this point, the amount of times I've rolled them on rocks, on trails. There's another big kill here from the Cardinals. And the little bump in the road for them really was just an anthill so far. Back to serve, short one here. Machado trying to push it through. He was favoring that leg a little bit. Still trying to walk it off.
Yeah, still walking a little bit slow. Definitely favoring the other side.
Not going to be an instant fix, obviously. We hope he's all right. But he seems to be doing okay now, enough to play. That's just the toughness of a lot of these guys. They refuse to go out.
That adrenaline keeps pumping.
Middle set, hammered through. Rogers again with his 8th. You can't stop this middle attack here from Ball State right now. They have just been pounding it into the court.
6'7" is definitely hard to stop, but when it's in front of the 10-foot line, it's also hard to stop.
Nearly impossible. Good serve. Just 2 aces on the night for Ball State. Blocked down from Schreiner. Grant got into the net trying to bump it up, and we couldn't get out of the way as he was already completely on the floor. Into the red zone, Ball State. 5 points away from taking a clean sweep here on the road in what has been, or at least we thought, the hardest place to play here in the MIVA. Lindenwood undefeated at home. Koshif's going to take his timeout.
His last of this set.
Ball State themselves also perfect at home, 12-0, but on the road only 3-2. 3-1 on neutral grounds as well. Just to talk about some of those out-of-conference games and the road games here to start here as well. Both conference losses have come at home, or on the road, excuse me. So we mentioned Lindenwood 9-0 at home this season. 8-3 away. At the neutrals, 0-0. So a 5-point lead once again from the Cardinals, and that's been the story here for this match. Both sets, Cardinals have had that one run that has put them ahead by 4 or 5, and Lindenwood has been unable to bridge that gap. Came close here in this set, but right back to it, and it's just been back and forth really ever since.
I got to say, that was an early timeout call by Coach Joe there. There's still 10 points left to play. If they were to come back into this game, they still need to be awarded 10 more points to take set number 3. Ball State only 5 away.
2015 here. Of course, though, at the same time, you don't want to let them run, then all of a sudden you got 2 points left to play as this one's sent out, and that's when you're taking your timeout. It's just kind of that in-between as a coach. When do you take that timeout? It is his last of the set, and he's hoping not the last of the game. Ball State's only taken 1 timeout this entire match.
There's been quite a few challenges, though, to kind of step off. But as Lindenwood takes time out, they're able to set a game plan a little bit further.
Big toss for Kraft. Off the net. Too far out in front of him.
Just 4 away from taking this match.
Service error number 14. Again, it's just been plaguing him a little bit. They're going to switch it off. Tyler Wint stepping back in, that freshman out of Florida. This one just off of the tape. Solomon back set. Kraft able to find some space. Lions another one. They're hitting under 100 here in this set. You look across the court, though, just one error in this set, 10 kills, 563 on just 16 attempts for Ball State, and they're already 4 points away.
Number 10 right there that was shown, Luke Kraft. Ball State has been able to hold him, block him, create a defense around him as he has been the standout attacker, and he's been held to just a few kills. That's exactly where the Cardinals need him to be.
You know, you'd say that you look at a guy who's leading the team and leading the game right now, but that's still low for Luke Kraft and low for the team as well for Lindenwood. Only 2 guys with 5 right now. That's Akawi and Grant. Problem is, the errors have been plaguing them as a nice finesse shot by Schreiner. Not enough. They bump it over just in case, but didn't get underneath it.
We're going to see a substitution here. Kraft not going to be serving this time.
They're going to bring in Brendan Schobrel. We mentioned it before. He's usually wearing that black. He's the L2 normally, but because of some injuries, he's had to step in as a regular court player.
Got no libero on the court right now for the Lions.
Sends it long. He came in for Amir Grant.
Definitely hard to be sitting and standing the entire match and then coming in late in the 3rd set. Still having those fresh arms. You know, you kind of get a little loosey-goosey. Maybe muscles get tight for him. Kind of is hard to come in and get that ace serve.
2 points away, another 5-point lead. Serve across, right to Schreiner. Sets to the outside, Whiteside, clean out, and it is match point Ball State.
Ball State fans, they're corner over here on their feet.
They are getting up. The boys are hype. Trying to start off another Mevo road trip with a win. Up high, Solomon, back set to Kraft, blocked down, going backwards. Back to Kraft again, trying to get out in front of it. Geis sets back. Whiteside, blocked. Net violation, Ball State. Lions stay alive for at least one more. No one you'd rather have in than Zach Solomon. Z-A-C-H-A-R-Y, they chant. Straight across, tapped over, able to keep it alive, but a free ball for Ball State. They set up for the win. Back set, the kill, not there. Solomon setting up far side, Whiteside blocked and out. Lions keeping it going. 20 to 24, excuse me. Still match point for Ball State.
Zach Solomon may be the server right now, but that set was absolutely phenomenal. All the way, almost deep into the corner, pushing it all the way to the outside. Right there in that replay. Such a great setter.
Solomon just long. That looked like it was in. Quick to the challenge card. Call on the court is out and game over. It's a close one again. Another serve challenged here. Everyone on their feet for Lindenwood. And we got the look for you here right now. Frame by frame. Slowing it down. The trajectory says in. Where is it? Right on the line. We will keep going.
That looks pretty clear.
We had one quick review earlier. That one just painting it right down straight down the middle of that ball, right on the line. Ball State fans ready to go back to their cars, get ready to head on east. Lindenwood saying not quite yet.
Not yet.
They at least want one more to play. Ball State trying to extend this 3-game winning streak. Lindenwood right now on a winning streak of their own with that was 2 straight against Queens. They're 5-1 in their last 6. Here comes the call. Ah, nice psych out there. It's in. I love it. I love it. The R2 doing a little dance out in front of the net and finally steps over to the Ball State side to say, I love that, the theatrics.
Even if it wasn't intentional, it was a great job there by the R2.
The suspension. The suspension there. The suspense. What am I saying? Suspense. Apologies. Solomon with another ace. And now he'll step up again. Still down by 3, though. If I'm anyone right now, the last thing I'm doing is talking to Zach Solomon. They're keeping it going. Solomon doesn't care. He's getting them hyped up right now. That's his game. Man of the people, man of this Lindenwood crowd, trying to keep it alive. That one long. Oh, right to it. They're going to call for a deflection. Took all of point 2, and they're going to look at it again.
Why not, says Coach Joe.
Why not, indeed. I mean, he had a prime look at it, too. He's looking right down that line. Love the gamesmanship here, right?
Was there a touch on a player?
Yep. I think so.
Definitely going to be number 3 that the R2's
Basilio.
looking at.
It looked like from that back, you can see the trajectory change there as well. 2 in a row, trying to keep them alive still. High toss. In! Again! And what do you know? Another challenge from Ball State. You gotta love it. You just gotta.
No defender even went for that ball. Clearly no touch, but was the ball in or out?
We keep going. Man.
Game of just serves here in this 3rd set.
The one thing, you hate to say it, but for Lindenwood, you kind of needed this handful of points ago. It's going to stand. It keeps them on their feet. 1-point match. Solomon keeps serving with 3 of a kind now. You can feel the momentum, just a little bit of change. Still, match point for Ball State. But all of the energy right now is on the side of the black and white. Solomon bumped up. Ball State looking to end it. To the side, tapped out. Underneath Solomon. Wall straight up. Kraft tapped up. Near side. Swing. Down. 26 we go. They're trying to get the boys back right now.
Can get a call for an interference there.
They're going to talk about this. It was a quick Iandolo trying to argue that. They were way out by the time of that. I mean, the ball was down. I mean, it's a huge celebration. I mean, what can you do on a point like that?
Well-deserved celebration. Looks like the ball was down before they crossed that threshold that they are not allowed to cross.
It's going to stay. It's going to stay. It's going to be argued by Rogers. But we will go to 26 here in this 3rd set. Man. 3 straight challenges. Lions seem to be down and out. It looked like Ball State was picking up the sweep. And now we have extra points in this third set. Can't write it any better between some of the top teams in the country. It's 11 versus 7, 1 versus 2. Couldn't have asked for any better. Solomon. Big toss. Good reception. They set up in the middle. Match point again. Savitsky Lynn stepping into it. Now in the hands of the Cardinals. 19 in red, trying to send them to McKendree, 1-0 on the weekend. Lions wanting to force a fourth set. Geist underneath, Solomon. Passes, middle, Walsh, tap down, right back to him. Geist bumps up, right to it. Kraft, big swing, blocked down! They survive the wave! And they head to Eastern Illinois 1-0 on the weekend.
That'll be the Lions' first loss at home. Got to give it to them, though, and give it to Zach Solomon. Did a phenomenal job getting them back into the game.
What an effort, and the crowd certainly applauding that.